There are times when illness means that your mind plays tricks on you. And there comes a point in life, for all of us, where memories fade. It's terribly sad when we start to forget the good times, the highlights of our lives. And sometimes all it takes is a little reminder to make those memories come back, as if by magic. It's a cruel blow when you also lose your mobility, preventing you from traveling back and exploring your past. Hold my hand and come with me on a journey back in time where life was tough, but great memories were made. Life is a journey, a series of adventures, and every second is important in some way or another.
You know, I don't know if what I'm doing is actually healthy or if it's normal. I mean, what is normal? But I just feel like it's something I want to do. I think it's an age thing. Maybe it is normal for when you get to my age. I mean, I'm 59. You tend to get a little bit nostalgic. You tend to reflect and you look back. For those younger ones that's watching this, you know, you think you're going to live forever, but I can assure you, you're not. Life is over in a blink. And I think a lot of the kind of person you are depends on the upbringing that you had. You know, and boils down to your parents. I'm very fortunate. I love my parents very much, and they really were good parents, always have been. They've never let me down, and I owe everything to them. So basically, I wanted to retrace my steps and go back to my youth and a bit of nostalgia. But the other main reason is the fact that my father, very sadly, has dementia. It's a horrible disease, absolutely horrible to see him losing his memory and slowly slipping away. And I thought it would be really nice to look back on some of the things he did in his younger days and try and put them in front of him. And he's also got mobility problems, so he would never be able to make this trip in person. So I think this is the next best thing. So at the moment, on this miserable grey December day, I'm heading north to where it all began, to the wonderful county of Yorkshire. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some old places where I grew up, but also even going back further than that, to where my father grew up. And I hope it stirs some memories for him, and I hope he enjoys it. So here I am on the M62, and I'm just 2 or 3 miles from Brighouse. And you remember, Dad, you were around when this road was being built. I was only very young. But yeah, I'm sure you remember when the M62 was built and open. So yeah, we'll be in Brighouse soon, and we'll go and have a look around, see how things have changed, see how much you remember. The high street doesn't even look like it's changed. Can you remember when Uncle Reggie had a butcher shop just down this street? We used to go in every Saturday, me and Adele. He used to give us 50p. And here's the Calder. Do you remember these mills? think it was called Sugden's. And here's the market. Unfortunately, it's not market day today. Do you remember this building? Such a shame, it's all falling into ruin now. Somebody was telling me here that it's up for sale again. But it's been a theatre and all sorts, but I think you remember it as a cinema. And here's the old Car Green Primary School. This has been a nursing home for a few years, but now it's all boarded up, and I'm led to believe they're either going to pull it down or convert it to flats now. Used to have a separate entrance for boys and a separate entrance for girls and a wall in between. And just at the end of this road, I think that's where the prefabs was. But they're long gone. There's a school there now and a playing field. So where are we now? This doesn't look like it's changed the slightest. I think the only thing that's changed since your time was the building of the new fire station right opposite where you used to live. And of course the M62's there now as well. But yeah, 47 Clough Lane, all those years ago. You know what? The house doesn't look like it's changed one little bit.
That was a good effort. Oh, and that's played on. Didn't quite have his batter straight as he really should have done. Stewie.
Shots. So, do you know where we are now, Dad? Some things never change.
For the West Yorkshire Fire Brigade, the 2nd of November 1967 will go down in history. The fire at Hayward's department store tested the fireman's steel to its limits. 5 firemen and a policeman were injured in this terrible fire that ravaged the Huddersfield store. Firemen battled the blaze for hours, using every piece of equipment they had, including the huge snorkel ladder that played a major role in stopping the fire from spreading to nearby buildings. Today, the West Yorkshire Fire Brigade still do an incredible job, as do all the firefighters, and I want to take you with me to see just how things have changed. As well as time for work, we all have time for leisure, and these are great times to reflect on. When you see images of past places, it's often just enough to bring old memories back to life. Close your eyes, and you can magically be transported back and relive the moment.
see the boiler? You never know, you never know. What do you think? Do you think that would have been there in the 60s, the tower?
I would say this, I mean, when you're watching this, Dad, maybe you'll remember, did you ever go up that tower?
It's an old station, isn't it? For sure they haven't changed. That's all. These old food stores, these are old outside stores. You know, I think this is all they've been doing here is just.
So, Dad, what was stored in here in your day?
Like I said, this is the mayor's
Yeah. So here is the old ladder that used to be in the bay. Yeah. And I've got a photograph of me when I was about 5, sat on this. Yeah. That's the one.
I would be curious to see if it still extends. You know, I would be very curious.
Looks in good condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been very well looked after, you know.
Yeah.
And you said you're put it up in the station?
Yeah. No worries. No, I won't get in the way.
Granddad in bed, granddaughter outside, nurses locked in.
Yeah, I've got loads of sheep now.
Yes, but
Oh, okay.
the kit's still
Yeah.
much the same.
Yeah. But you'll love to see it anyway.
The dorms are obviously. This is the main dorm, but I think when your dad were, they'd be in the top floor, but they have a bit more privacy now.
No.
They'd be the open dorm, but
Right.
they all have little separate cubicles now.
Yeah.
So the firefighters all sleep down here.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll notice a change in that, I bet.
And that's somebody with female toilets.
Oh,
There
yeah,
wouldn't have been
yeah.
many female firefighters, there wouldn't have been any.
There wouldn't have been any.
But
No.
We've got, in fact, I don't think we have on this station. We have had quite a few over the time, but
Yeah.
yes, this is the room where when you parted. It's a bit busy now. This would have just been a social room. There'd been
Yes.
no swimming pool or anything like that in it.
No.
So the snooker, when I first joined, the snooker room were on the top floor.
So this is likely where the Christmas parties were held?
This is where they've been. Gone over to the bar.
Yeah.
Old photos on this side.
Let's see.
Whitewash, mid-60s.
Let's see if Dad can recognise anybody.
Right, I'll get a couple of them. In fact, you're on Facebook or anything?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
in fact, I remember the ones from this side better. It's just the two together, so they. I think it might have gone all the way through when your dad was here, but that, so you've obviously got second to first. So they come out from the dome down there, through to this side. You can tell from the fitting that they've got nice old flip this one open. Straight down into the muscle there.
I've already been there, man. What you use now and
Yeah, so this is the appliance bay now. Obviously back in the day, I believe we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6. I think there was more. I know I had a primary staff ladder back then and so on, but now we're down to just one water ladder and then one water tender. We've got 3 pumps in today because the extra one is just brigade resilience pump. And then another thing is now watch commanders don't ride in on the pumps anymore. They've got their own car, so all the pumps are down to four members of staff. You got your crew commander, your 2 in the back, and then your driver. So this is our combined aerial rescue platform. We use this as our water ladder. So obviously, yeah, we've got a cage there, go up to a height of 32 meters. And so for most of the high rises around Huddersfield, we're able to get to most of them anyway. It'll get above most 10. We maybe get an 11th floor rescue. I'd say a lot of this is probably quite different. Obviously, we've still got our sets in the back. Obviously, we've got our echo board, any first aid and stuff in here as well. This pump itself is everything's stowed fully in this. It's not really like it's not like most pumps that we have, you know. We've got our water rescue gear, everything up here. We've got our 45mm hoses for high rise, and then another high rise pack as well. We've got all our rope rescue gear here as well. And this is actually coming to the end of its life. This is going to be off the run next year, and we're going to get a new aerial ladder platform. Got all our hose reels and everything, which I'm sure was it the 60s your dad was in?
yeah, 67, 68.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think it would mainly just be hoses like this back then. But yeah, we obviously still got our hoses for our bigger jobs. And yeah, got our biggest ladder in the brigade here too. And yeah, that's just some lights and bits. We've still got driver's kit and stuff in there. Emergency generator that can power this if there should ever be an engine failure. Yeah, obviously pump locker. And I would say a lot of this gear is probably the most different. So what your dad's used to. Yeah. So I don't even know what there would have been handheld tools probably back then, or maybe emergency or generator tools.
So I don't think Dad would have had access to any of these in those days.
No. So yeah, it's all battery powered now, you know. So you got spreaders and cutters. Whereas I'm sure back then they would have had to at least fired up some sort of generator, run on petrol and so on. And got fans and everything as well now. Which that definitely, I know for a fact that wouldn't have been a thing back then.
Is this for clearing smoke?
Yeah. So you go in, pop the fire out,
and
I'll start it up if you want. You go in, pop the fire out. Obviously, it's normally a lot easier to do this while we have it all off.
Yeah.
But get the idea. So yeah, once you get the fire out, if you want to clear all the smoke, or sometimes if you're having trouble with the fire, I even prefer just to clear the smoke before you put the fire out, really, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then again, same side on the same as the middle locker on the other side. You know, hose reeds and all. I doubt in the 60s they had hose reeds, really.
No.
I doubt it, but I would say that's probably one of the first things to come in since your dad left. Then we've got the stuff that we all absolutely hope would never need to use, which is all the hazmat suits. Because that's that's a nightmare in itself. You know, that's the sort of job that none of us really want to be going to.
No.
Yeah, was your dad just rode in the back, did he, or?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, when Dad's watching this video, hopefully he'll remember and he'll be able to tell me all about what he did.
Well, so then, we'll skip out this one because this is a slightly older one that we just use as a resilience pump. Oh no, we will use this. I forgot that, right? So this is more or less fully stocked anyway. So fire and so on.
Very well equipped. Yeah.
A lot of the same stuff here. This is all. Well, I know this wouldn't have been there when your dad was there because it's all defibrillator and stuff in there.
Yeah.
All bits and bats like that, longboards and stuff.
Yeah.
I struggle to imagine maybe what it was even on the pumps. But, you know, when you know, I'm sure they still had stuff like this. You know, like big winches. It's for basically you link a chain to it on each end, and you can hook this up to the back of the pump. Put the handbrake on, obviously, and you can winch any sort of cars and things out of ditches or fields. Or
I would imagine, and Dad will probably tell me all about it. But in the 60s, there wasn't that much traffic about as there is today.
Oh, well, yeah, true.
So they probably didn't do many like road traffic acts and things like that.
Yeah, you know what? I would say you're right.
So they wouldn't have had need for all this equipment.
No. I would say probably their biggest job is probably house fires with smoking and
mill fires.
Mill fires. Yeah. Really, probably the stuff that we would get most excited about. Really, you know. I'm sure back then they were maybe sick of them. But yeah, same thing here. Yeah. We've got all our air cylinders. Are all in there that we can swap out with the sets there.
Yeah.
50 years ago to the day, Hudson, don't say a word. TV screens across Yorkshire went blank. It was at 5:01 in the evening when Yorkshire Television and the new colour BBC Two just fell off air.
The Emily Moor mast collapsed and crashed to the ground because ice had formed and toppled it over. Well, Ian White has been talking to some of the people who were involved and has been looking at some footage of the mast that's never been shown on TV before.
From Emily Moor. This is just a small example of the sort of pictures that are being sent out at the moment.
In the summer of 1968, a BBC engineer called Peter Pearson made a short film about the place where he worked. The new TV tower sitting high on Emily Moor was getting a lick of paint. These recently rediscovered pictures have never been seen on TV before.
This preservation paint was probably not very good quality, because the mast fell down a few months later.
And this is how the mast looked. In the horrendous winter of 1969, on the 19th of March to be precise, the mast came crashing down, leaving a scene of devastation. Amazingly, no one was badly injured. Alan Redgrove was one of the junior engineers on shift that evening.
At 5:01, when it actually came down, I was in the cooling plant in the basement of the transmitter building, taking some readings and so on, and so it was very noisy in there, so I initially didn't hear any of the rumble of the mast actually coming down.
As well as moving pictures filmed by Look North at the time, engineer Peter Pearson took some great colour photographs. They really show the extent of the catastrophe. It was big news, and BBC Radio Leeds sent a reporter to the scene. A build-up of ice on the mast was quickly thought to be responsible for the collapse. Experts had to assess the evidence before it melted away.
Well, this one actually fits the mast because I've just tried it. I've only been here 10 minutes, but it's come in two lots. There's the ice and then there's the snow layer, and you can get a kind of detective story.
The 50th anniversary has been marked with a special lunch and presentation at Emily's Methodist Hall. Many people there remembered clearly what happened.
I went to put my television on, and it were all fuzzy.
Oh, he just said the mast fell down. I says, don't be so silly.
It's a wonder nobody was killed when you think about it.
But the story of that mast didn't end back in 1969. In fact, it lives on to this very day. It's here at the Huddersfield Sailing Club, used as a lookout tower.
We were building a tower here, intending building a tower in brick, and had started the foundations, and I jokingly said, I could do with a bit of that mast. And a week later, there was a phone call in my office to say there are 2 sections in the field, help yourself.
Quick work by engineers got TV programmes back on the air within a matter of days. And by the early 1970s, a new concrete tower had been built. It remains a famous Yorkshire landmark to this day, not broadcasting 2 TV channels, but more than 100. Ian White, BBC Look North, Emily Moore.
I thought I could hear the wondrous tone of the Restrict fire engine out from home. Flashing lights, sirens true, here they come to rescue you. Call 39, that's what they'll say, on their way any time of day. As you walked in on Christmas Eve, you suddenly found it hard to breathe. You have left the oven on and left the house for far too long. The flames were big and bright. Ring 39 from your mobile phone, send for some help to save your home. Christmas may be under threat, let's hope there's time to save it yet. The fire engine's here. I thought I could hear the wondrous tone of the Restrict fire engine out from home. Flashing lights, sirens true, here they come to rescue you. Call 39, that's what they'll say, on their way any time of day. On their way any time of day. And then the firefighters came to put some water on the flames. When it comes to fire, it's not a game. Check your smoke alarm again and be safe this time. Check your batteries on your smoke alarm, it's the best way to prevent harm. Sweep your chimney every year, Santa likes them very clear. Don't have a chimney fire. I thought I could hear the wondrous tone of the Restrict fire engine out from home. Flashing lights, sirens true, here they come to rescue you. Call 39, that's what they'll say, on their way any time of day.
Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away. Well, I bet you knew where we are straight away is the Huddersfield Town Football Club. I wonder how many times you've sat in the stand here. My only regret is that I never went with you. I know you tried to get me there, but just wouldn't have it. Such a shame, and I'm sorry for that. I tried so hard to get into the stadium today. I wanted to sit in the stand where you used to sit, but unfortunately because of COVID they're protecting the team so I couldn't get in. The only thing I could do is go one stage further, and I got somebody who wants to send a little message to you.
Hi Peter, it's Andy Booth here from Huddersfield Town, and I just wanted to send all my best wishes and I hope you have a great Christmas. I know you've been a Town fan for over 60 years, which is unbelievable, and I bet you've seen some ups and downs over the years, and not to mention the great players you've seen. Hiya Trevor Cherry is your all-time favourite player, and I've got to admit I can't disagree with that choice. What a player, and also what a gentleman he was off the field. And Peter, can I thank you for all the support you gave me through my career. And I know you went to Wembley to support us in the Championship final. What an atmosphere it was that day. And I never thought we'd ever be in the Premier League. So Peter, you have a great Christmas from everybody here at the club.
The return of the Brighouse and Rastrick band after their triumph in the National Championship was, to say the least of it, a festive occasion. Headed by their handsome trophy, the band entertained the town like the champions they are. The triumphant procession from the station was filmed and recorded by British Movietone News, a picture which will long be remembered by the people of Brighouse. The largest crowd ever seen in the streets cheered the band as the procession swung on towards the town hall. Outside the town hall, huge crowds had assembled to see the civic welcome. Here, the cup was placed on the dais and tributes were paid to the band.
Mr. Mayor, Aldermen, councillors, Mr. Herbert Wood, President of Brighouse House and Rastrick Band, ladies and gentlemen, your band has existed since 1881 and on many occasions has contested for the National Championship of Great Britain. At last, I am glad to say, you have brought the Daily Herald National Trophy to Brighouse.
Then the mayor spoke.
Mr. President, Mr. Nixon, Brighouse and Rastrick Band, in accepting this magnificent trophy at your hands for safe custody, it is my privilege in my official capacity as mayor to offer to you the unanimous and the most sincere congratulations of the citizens of Brighouse on your long-sought triumph in the National Band Championship. For many years, you have been on the fringe of this great honor, and now you have achieved the greatness which your application and ability have so richly merited. Brighouse is proud of you.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. Not only the town, but the whole of Yorkshire is proud of the Brighouse and Rastrick Band.
Saw a lot of new names in our charts, none more than outrageous than this from the Brighouse and Rastrick Brass Band. Okay, Noel, it's quiz kid time. Want to see if you can identify...
Well, I'm now travelling back on the M1, heading south. I've had a couple of days touring Yorkshire, and it's been absolutely wonderful. The Yorkshire people are just there's nobody like them. Nobody like them. Everyone has been absolutely fantastic. But I really hope, Dad, that you've enjoyed the journey as much as I have, and I hope it's brought some happy memories back for you. As I say, I'm so sorry that you couldn't do the journey with me, but I hope this is some small form of compensation, just a token to say how much we love you all. We just love you so much. So proud of you. So I'm just on my way on the M1, heading south after 2 wonderful days in Yorkshire. It's really reinforced my thought of Yorkshire people. There's nobody on this planet like them. They're just so pleasant, so helpful, lovely people through and through. But I must say I've had a wonderful journey. I hope you've enjoyed the journey too, Dad. It's such a shame that you couldn't be here in person with me, but I hope this is some small compensation, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's brought some happy memories back for you. Yeah, just a little token to show how much we love you so much. Merry Christmas.